Hey guys, Brian Karp, Long Island sales giant, a little nostalgia, Park Avenue. So people all the time are asking me, how do I get started? The real estate market's just too expensive. I'm a first-time home buyer. I'm a new investor. How do I start? Well, I'm going to tell you the way that Jessica and myself started almost 15 years ago, 2007. We purchased a house on this block. And what do? We did something called a house hack. And a house hack, I want to say that I did it before that beautiful word and that phrase was coined. But what we basically did was we bought a house and then I built an apartment in it, right? That paid 90% to almost 100% of our mortgage. Now, when Jessica and myself were first shopping for homes, this is before I had a real estate license, the most important criteria was it had to have a 2-bedroom apartment in it, because I knew that I can get a certain amount of rent for the 2-bedroom apartment. And we ended up moving into the house, and the apartment wasn't exactly the apartment that we wanted. So I had to reconfigure some walls. I had to paint. I had to do some electrical, some plumbing. And this is before YouTube. So I had to call favors in and read books and ask my father for help. And I stayed up nights, right? This is when I was working construction. I stayed up many nights till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning working on this apartment. And I was so obsessed with getting the apartment ready to be rented because I needed that money to pay the mortgage, right? So everybody's saying that the real estate market is too expensive. Interest rates are too expensive. Get into real estate. Buy a house, right? And you guys should be house hacking, right? Which basically means you should be living there for free or for 50% or 80% or 90% of what it could cost you to live there with an amazing apartment. Now you guys can go out and buy a 2-family or 3-family, or you can build an accessory apartment in the house, right? And my first house we purchased and the interest rates were like 6.5 to 6 3/4. So we did it, right? I started in real estate in 2007 is when I bought the first house, when the rates were crazy. So guys, it is still an amazing time to buy a house. If the mortgage payment has gotten to be too expensive for you guys, consider house hacking, consider building an apartment right in the house or buying something with an apartment already in there. I'm talking to the younger generation. I'm talking to everybody out there who's renting, right? Rents are insane right now. I have a small, very small 3-bedroom, 1-bath house that we're renting for $2,700 a month, right? I guarantee if you could afford that, you can probably buy a house. The mortgage could be $4,000 a month, and you could rent out a portion of the house for $1,500, and then you'd only have to pay $2,500. You are on top of that building equity. On top of that, you are buying an asset. You'll have something to write off every year when you do your taxes, right? And then when time passes, right, you're going to pay down the mortgage, and then you're going to have an asset, right? That house, our first house, we actually sold maybe 6 months ago, and we made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on it. And we ended up taking that money and rolling it into another property. So guys, I encourage you to buy real estate and wait. And if it's gotten to be too expensive for you guys, do what Jessica and myself first did on Park Avenue and house hack. All right?